Right. Right. Wonderful. So let us get started. So let me open classroom notes. So yesterday we have seen how to create virtual machines in Hyper-V machine, right? So I have that machine in Azure. Okay, the only thing which I have to be done over there is to start that virtual machine and to check if the virtual machines are on. If they are not on, starting the virtual machines. So let me go into the virtual machine space. Okay, and let me start this virtual machine. If you install it on home edition, you can, but the problem is you will not be able to. Home edition, no. Windows 10 home edition, no. Right. Home edition, you cannot install Hyper-V. Okay, so while this machine is starting, let us get into the stuff. Today, what is that you would be doing? Okay, so from today onwards, it is more procedural, right? So let me try to tell you one thing straight. In whenever you do Azure migration, it is all about following the documentation, right? In that documentation, there will always be some restrictions, right, and some conveniences, and you have to know both of them. You have to know both of them, and for that, the only way you are going to do that is following the documentation. For that, the only way which you are going to do that is following the documentation. So let me basically look into Hyper-V virtual machines to Azure migration. And remember, this has to do the effective migration. What we do is we prepare Hyper-V environment. Okay. We assess Hyper-V VMs for migration, and then at the last we migrate Hyper-V VMs. And in a very high level view, if I have to speak about it, these are all the steps. And now each of these steps will have some of the further steps. And for this, I'll be following a document from Microsoft. Whoever is doing the stuff, this is the only way how you do it. Okay, so whenever you do the migration, you do the migration by following a documentation. I'll be giving the documentation links, and I would expect that you guys go through that. In this case, you have to go through that, otherwise your migration will not be a success, right? Okay, sir. So let us get started with this stuff. Right. Okay, now my virtual machine has started, and let me get into this virtual machine. Okay, so I'm logging in into this virtual machine. And now, if you look into this virtual machine, okay, So let me open Hyper-V Manager. I've created 3 virtual machines. I've created 3 virtual machines. Okay. The third virtual machine is just a Windows server. And okay. So I'll be writing my steps for Windows Server. Steps for Windows VM creation. But remember, this is not a full-blown Windows Server. This is a Windows Server core. For me, it doesn't matter. Okay, right. So make dir IIS make dir IIS CD IIS Vagrant init. Okay. Now edit the Vagrant file to look like. Okay, let me copy the Vagrant file which I have been using over here so that it is easy. But this machine takes a lot of time to start. It takes at least nothing less than half an hour to start. That too on this space. So whenever you basically use this stuff, okay. Uh, okay. So let me not give all of this. Let me first try to basic. Okay. So generally, let me try to tell you what happens. Okay. So yesterday we have done Vagrant init, right? So now also I'll be doing Vagrant init just to show you how what happens. Okay. Let me create new folder Windows. Okay. I've opened this. Let me open PowerShell. Okay. So CD, what is it? Windows. Okay. Right. Now here you try to tell Vagrant init and then you give the name of this. Okay. All right. So whenever you do this, basically what happens is in the background, a file is getting created. If you wait for some time, you will be getting a file. Sorry, did you got this file? Now edit this file. In this file, you will be seeing something like config.vm.box equals to Windows Server. Okay. So whenever you see that, okay, you need to go and add this line also. Config.vm. That's it. You need to add the line immediately after that. Okay. So let me add a screenshot of that. Okay. So generally, what is that you will be having? You will be having only this. So wherever you have this, you go and add this stuff. You go and add this stuff. Right. So this is something which is required if you want to migrate Windows Server. So if you don't want to, that's a different story. Right. Because we need to know different flavors whenever we are doing migration. That's the reason why I'm basically coming up with this stuff. Right. 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 Dot slash images slash. Okay. Wonderful. 1 minute then. Just 1 minute. Okay. Now is the voice better? Right. Right. Okay, sir. So this is basically what we have got. Okay. Right. So now we need to basically follow the documentation. So I have a Hyper-V environment where my 3 virtual machines are running, and I've shown you how to create that. Okay. But as I said, this machine might take a lot of time. Okay. First time whenever you run this machine, you might even get an error message saying that I didn't got my IP address. Okay. But just still wait, because the whole point is the machine which I've created is not that capable. Okay. We have to wait till we see the IP address over here. And first time getting the IP address will be very, very slow. Will be dead slow. Okay. So right now I have 3 machines which are basically running on IP addresses 192.168.100, okay, 101 and 102. Right. So let us get started now. Hyper-V migration to Azure, right? So I'm going to give you the links for them. Okay. We have to blindly follow this documentation, and this documentation, understand one thing, it always changes. Okay. So last time whenever I was doing the migration and when I'm doing it now, whether all the steps are same, not all the steps are same. They change a bit. Okay. Microsoft is already doing a lot of innovation over there to make our life simple. To make our life simple. Right. Okay. Fine. So first I'm going to basically go ahead. Yeah. And then I've pasted a link now. Did you all receive? Yes. Please open that. Please open that link. Okay. So, right. Open the document, and that is what you'll be doing. Okay. So, Azure or preparation phase. In preparation phase, the first thing which you would like to do is Azure preparation activities. Is there anything which you need to prepare in Azure? Okay. So in the case right now, what we are in, we might not need any kind of preparation. But whenever you are trying to use your organization account, the basic stuff is you are not the owner of that account. You are not the owner of that account. So you need to give some special permissions to that account. So if you are working with Azure AD, okay, non-global administrator. So for the people who don't understand this term, don't even worry about it. Okay, what I'm trying to tell you, you need to deal with permissions. You need to deal with permissions. So you need to set up permissions. Okay, right. So if you remember what are the permissions which you need a permission to create an Azure migrate project, you need a permission to register resource providers. You need to create an Azure Active Directory app, right? So for this, all the steps are basically present over. So how do you do that? Okay. But in our case, since we are logging in as a user who is the owner of Azure account, for us, we need not do this for this lab activity. But in reality, whenever you are doing the actual migration, you need to do these steps. Okay. Right. Now, let me get into the next step, which is, right. Okay. Which is preparing Hyper-V, and this we need to do it. Preparing Hyper-V. Okay. So I'm just calling it as refer here because we need to basically follow the documentation. So he's trying to tell that you can prepare Hyper-V assessment manually or using configuration script. So whether you want to do it manually or using configuration steps, that's fine. Okay. Then he is basically asking us to verify Hyper-V host settings. So if you are looking at Hyper-V host settings, Hyper-V host must be a standalone or a cluster. It can be standalone or cluster. It doesn't matter. Hyper-V has to be from Windows Server 2012 and above. Okay, and he's trying to tell that you cannot make an assessment if your server is trying to run Windows Server 2012, and this cannot be changed, right? If you now try to tell that, okay, what will I do if my company is using Windows Server 2008? First, you move to the suitable versions, and then you can do the migration. Okay, so this is for the servers which are running Hyper-V. Okay, right, and now this is the host. Okay, I'm not sure how many of you understand this terminology, but generally, whenever I have a physical server or some operating system, okay, and in this operating system, if I am creating virtual machines, okay, so this is called as host and this is called as guest. This is called as guest. Now we have two kinds of requirements. One is for Hyper-V host, the other one is for the VM. The other one is for the VM. Okay, so host is this Windows server which we have created on Azure. Guests are these three virtual machines which I have created. Guests are these three virtual machines which I have created. Okay, now all right, I think I'll not get into that, but the whole point is on the host you need to have this. But when it comes to Hyper-V VM requirements, let us see what should be present. So it tries to tell that the following are the informations which you need. Following are the different Windows servers it supports. Windows you should not have a lot of problem. Okay, right? Linux. If you look at Linux, you will have the following endorsed Linux operating systems. Okay. So if there is any other customized Linux, will it not work? Yeah, it might have some issues because Microsoft cannot give you a guarantee on that because they have not tested it. That is what he's trying to basically come up with. Okay, right. Now he's trying to tell that Azure Hyper-V integration services must be running. Okay, so are you seeing this? Hyper-V integration services must be running on the VMs to assess in order to capture operating system information. Okay, so the following are the services. Okay, so don't worry about how we are going to do all of this. It's okay. We'll be doing them step by step. Okay, right. So now, if you want to enable the Hyper-V integration services, what is it trying to tell us? If you go over here, okay, if you look into this image, yeah, you right click on any machine and then basically say settings. And if you look into integration services, if you see all of them are basically selected. Okay, let me try to select a Linux machine. Settings, integrations. Okay, if you see some of the services are offered, guest services are not offered, but that's okay. Okay, so you really need not do anything special. That's basically what it means. Okay, all right. Now you can do all of this stuff manually, or you can prepare all of this stuff with a script. And I would rather go with a script. So let me open this document in the PowerShell over here. Okay. Prepare with a script. I'll go to Microsoft Download Center. Sorry, Singh, I got the script downloaded. Yeah. Right? I got the script downloaded. Okay. And then I have to run this command. That's it. Okay. So if you see we downloaded in the downloads folder. So let me go into run as administrator. This I am trying to run on Hyper-V host. Hyper-V host. Okay. This will be present in downloads. Okay. All right. So now you need to basically run this command. Okay. Cert are using certified, and then you have to basically give hyphen hash file, and these are the hash values which you need to basically give. Okay. Right. So let me copy this command. Right. So hash file is okay. Right. So what he's trying to tell us, if you want to basically look into verify the hash file's integrity, you can basically do it. Okay. Right. That is basically for measuring the what do you call uh, that is basically for measuring the uh, integrity of this file. We need not basically do that. The only thing which you need to do is you need to run that script. You need to run that script. Okay. Right. So you download it, and this is all the manual steps which they have given. So what is that we need to basically do? Okay. Right. Now let me try to run Microsoft. And remember, this script will run as a PowerShell administrator. So do you want to run it? Do you want to always run it? I want to always run this. So it is trying to tell that WinRM is required. Okay. Right. Right. It is asking, do you want me to configure the firewall to open the ports? Yes. Right. I don't have any shared SMB service. Do you want to create a non administrator local user for Azure Migrate and Hyper-V host communication? So if you want, you can give that. I would say no, I don't want to. So you have done this activity. So look at the options, right? After this, you have to download the script and run the script. Download the script and then run the script. Okay. So when you run the script, remember the options. I'm rerunning it. Okay. It is trying to tell that WinRM is mandatory requirement. Do you want to enable? Yes, I want to enable. Okay. PowerShell remoting is mandatory. Yes, I want to. Okay. Do you want to configure firewall to open all the ports? Yes. Do you have SMBs? No, I don't have SMBs. Do you want to create a non-local administrator? I'll say no, I don't want to. That's it. Am I clear on this? Require this stuff to be working. And When this is not working, stuff doesn't go very well. Stuff doesn't go very well. Clear on this, guys? So you have to do this activity. How we select yes, no? Do we need to follow any requirement? Sir, you need to read it. You just need to read it. Okay. SMBCs, do you have any network drive? The answer is no. In that case, we don't have any network drive. Okay. Yes. Right. So there is one more question, and let me try to answer that. Yeah, I have messed with hash file path. Okay. There is no need for us to verify the integrity, man. It is fine. I'm not least concerned about it. Right. So if the same script executing, can we execute on multiple machines with any automation? See, the answer is, first of all, it is yes. And the second thing is, I will never do this activity, because generally when I do migration, I migrate one host at a time at least. In my host, I can have multiple VMs, but at least I'll be doing the migration of one host. Why should I worry about multiple VMs then? Okay, right. So if you remember, I've said there are two machines, host and guest. This is something which I'm running on host. Okay, if I'm running on host, okay, so a Hyper-V host can be of two configurations. One is single, the other one is cluster. So even if you are trying to do the migration of multiple machines, you will be trying to run this only on once on the Hyper-V host. Okay, right. So fine. Nah. Oh, let me log in into that server. Oh, MSDSC, man. MSDSC. Right. Okay. So I've logged in into the server. Okay. And then the next thing which I have to basically look at is, I have to look into. Okay. So everything is in place. Okay. So I have done everything. This is a manual preparation. I'll never do that. I'll never do that. Okay. So this is preparation for appliance deployment. Okay. So appliance deployment is something which you'll worry at a later point of time. Okay. And then, all right. So what are the Hyper-V host requirements, and what are the different things that are basically being supported? And while you are doing this activity, what are the different URLs that this machines will access? Okay. So Hyper-V assessment report, Hyper-V assessment support, and Hyper-V migration support. Let me give the requirements for this. So if you look into this documentation, is trying to tell that you can assess up to 35,000 VMs at one shot. Okay. So now we can do an assessment of 35,000 VMs in the basis, in the kind of groups. Okay, when it comes to the Hyper-V machines, right? This number might change in the future. You might have much more higher number. This is always changing. And now, what are the different ports that your machine will basically be accessing? Okay, so what are the required agents? So here, this is the whole stuff which we need to worry about. Okay, so let me go over here. Okay, 3 Hyper-V assessment support. Okay, and there is no alternative. You have to read this document every time before you start this migration, because Microsoft is adding too many things over here, and some of the outdated versions they might even delete. It. Okay, so before proceeding, look into the Hyper-V assessment support. Okay, so that you will understand what is happening over there. If you look into this assessment support, what is it trying to tell? It is trying to tell that you will have the following limitations. You can access up to 35,000 Hyper-V VMs in one Azure Migrate project. Okay. So Discovery can happen up to 5,000 VMs. The appliance can connect up to 3,300 Hyper-V OS. Okay. And then we need to basically look into this whole stuff, right? We need to look into this whole stuff. Okay. So right now, since I'm worried only about assessment, then I'll be looking into the migration when the time comes. Right. Okay. So have you done that tool stuff? Okay. I Googled that. So to connect to the Windows machine, what is the protocol which you are using? Shravan, what is the protocol which you use for connecting to Windows machine? Protocol, not port. What is the protocol which we use for connecting to Windows machine? Yeah, RDP. And have you Googled what is the port number that RDP requires? HTTP requires 8080, right? Right. Fine, sir. So I have the script running. Have you done this? So do you have your script executed over here on your machine? Okay. So if you have run, wonderful. Right. Now what we will do is we will get into assessment. We will get into assessment, which is our next step. And before doing an assessment, as I said, it is mandatory for you to understand the support. Mandatory for you to understand support. So now let me get into my second aspect, which is assessment. So in assessment, generally, we set up Azure Migrate project. Okay. And then we set up Azure Migrate appliance. We set up Azure Migrate appliance. And once we set up this Azure Migrate appliance, okay, we will do the verification of it and all of that stuff. And then we start discovery. Okay. Once we start discovery, then we set up assessment. So these are the basic steps. So how Hyper-V migration will happen is just understand this image. Okay. So if you remember, now we have this Windows server, which is Hyper-V enabled. And on this Hyper-V server, I am running 2 or 3 VMs, whatever it is. Okay. These are the VMs which I want to migrate. What Azure tries to tell is, okay, what Azure tries to tell to you is, okay, now if you want to successfully complete the migration, I will give you a VM. You have to download that VM and install it on your Hyper-V. Okay. Anyway, you have a Azure cloud. You have a Azure cloud. Okay. Now this VM, whatever I am trying to create, okay, will basically interact with your Windows server and also with your Azure. So this is called as appliance. Tomorrow, whenever we do the migration of VMware, then here we are having Hyper-V based what do you call appliance. There will be having a VMware based appliance. There will be having a VMware based appliance. Story is exactly the same. Story is exactly the same. All right. So am I clear on this? All right. Sir, first money, I think we have spoken about this. If you do one migration, then we will be able to do the migration. Before starting the class itself, I think I've said, right, we will be doing Hyper-V VM. All of us will be doing it. And VMware migration, I'll show it to you and I'll basically share that. Okay. So I think you were in that class. It was of my good knowledge that you were in that class, right? So till we finish Hyper-V, let us not speak about VMware. Am I clear on that? First, try to understand this, man. Basically what you are trying to do is you are trying to think the other way around. Okay. So why don't you worry about steps? Yeah, yeah. Right. Clear on this? Okay. Now what we need to do is in our Windows server, where we are running our Hyper-V, we need to download one appliance. And to download that appliance, we need to create an Azure migration project, Azure Migrate project. So how to set up the Azure Migrate project, okay, and how to basically do that stuff, that is what I'll be doing right now. And you can do the stuff along with me. Okay, so let me do the refresh. So I'll basically go over here, all services, and then say Azure Migrate. Okay, so right, I've selected this Azure Migrate project. Okay, now are you seeing this Azure Migrate project, which is basically present over here? And then in here, there are a lot of things, right? So it is asking what is that you want to do. Do you want to migrate an on-premise data center to Azure? Yes, I want to migrate on-premise server Azure to my on-premise stuff to Azure. Okay. So the next thing which I would be doing is okay. I'll be setting up this. Okay. All right. Right. So SSN migrate servers, and then the next thing, if you see over here, is you will be seeing something called as migrate project and change. Okay. So wonderful. Now let me click on change. And then what is your migrate project? Okay. I don't have any select migrate project. So you have to, if you read through this, you'll be able to find it out. Okay. So click here to create a new project. All right. So I'll be clicking over here. And then while I'm creating a migration project, then it will ask what is the resource group which you want to create. Let me try to tell that I want to create a resource group. And basically resource group is Hyper Migrate. Okay. Now what is your migrate project's name? Okay. Hyper-V or Hyper Demo. In which country do you want to have? So for my servers are in United States at this moment, so I'll stick to United States as a geography. Okay. So this is not a location, this is a geography. Then whenever we are trying to do this assessment, it is asking, do you want to do the assessment with inbuilt Microsoft tools, or do you want to use any third-party tools? Do you want to use any third-party tools? Right. So in this classroom, I'll be sticking myself, right, to Azure tools itself. Next. Then how do you want to do the migration? If I want to do the migration using third party, I can do that. But at this moment, I'm fixing my tools. I'll go to the next, and then I'll add tools. And one more thing is, as I've said earlier, okay. So all of this stuff is basically present. Where is it? In the documentation which I've shared with you already, right? Or I mean, which will be part of your classroom notes today, right? So SS Hyper-V VMs, and whatever I'm trying to do is basically from here. Okay. So I might not be setting up this VM by reading each and every line in the document, but I would want you to do that. I would want you to do that. This activity will take time. Okay. So let me go to the resource group. Okay. Strange. Azure migrate. Okay. Right. Now, after you have done that, we can basically start the assessment. You can start the assessment. Okay. So for this, what I want you to do is I want you to again follow this documentation. Okay. So in here, if you look into, right, basically is asking you to go to servers and in servers discover and in discovers download. Okay. And this is exactly what I would also be doing. Okay. So, but it would be better if I open my Azure portal in here. Okay. Because I have to download that stuff from here. So portal dot. Okay. Now let me get into this machine. Azure migrate and Azure migrate. I have servers. Right now I'm trying to work on servers. I'll click on discover. And when I'm doing this discover, it is asking me, so what is that you're trying to migrate? Are you trying to migrate a VMware? Are you trying to migrate a Hyper-V? Or are you trying to migrate a other kind of stuff? Since I'm doing with Hyper-V right now, I'll select this. Tomorrow when I basically work on VMware, I'll be selecting a VMware over here. I select this. And are you seeing this download? Okay. This appliance is 12 GB in size. Download this. Okay. So we're downloading 12 GB, so it takes a decent amount of time. But when compared to what will happen in our homes, this will be much better. If you see, it is showing just minutes remain. Okay. So using that virtual hard disk file, we'll be creating a virtual machine, and that virtual machine will become appliance. And how to create a VM and everything is basically from the documentation. So you can how do you create appliance virtual machine? Okay. So after you create a appliance virtual machine, what are the different things which you need to configure? Okay. So all of the stuff which I'd be basically speaking in this classroom will be from here itself. Yeah. Okay. Come on, man. So it is showing 8 seconds are left. Okay, good. Right. And after that, you have to unzip this zip file. Still good. Okay, so you just unzip this zip file. This activity also takes decent amount of time. Yeah. As I said, these are all not very difficult kind of activities. These are all very time taking, and they have to do with lot with patience. See, as per this documentation, I want you to finish till start continuous discovery. Right. So we should be able to do this discovery. Okay, and discovery takes around 1.5 minutes for a host. Okay. And then after we finish this discovery, we set up an assessment. Okay. So these are all time taking activities. Now we have to be just. Yeah. So while this is doing, I cannot do much. So that's the reason why I'm quiet. So I hope if you're also doing this stuff, it would not be really quiet. So because you are also doing your activities along with me. Now let us just wait for this to be finished. And good. So this is created, and now we need to set up the Azure Migrate appliance. And how do we set up the Azure Migrate appliance? There is a whole steps that they have given. Okay. So we have downloaded this file, right? So we have done everything, and the only thing that is left is Hyper-V Manager and importing the virtual machine. So let me open Hyper-V Manager and then say that I want to import a virtual machine. Okay. So be very careful with the options over here. Okay. So after you import your virtual machines, then you need to locate the folder wherever you have virtual machines in it. So let me browse them. And just now we have used the downloads folder. So in downloads, I have Azure Migrate Appliance folder. Let me click on next. So I get this. I get this option. Okay. Now if you click on next, okay, then see what are the options which it is trying to tell. Right, select the virtual machine, then you can choose the import type, and he's asking us to click copy the virtual machine. Okay, so let me go over here, and in here I'll be selecting the copy the virtual machine. So if you want to store your virtual machine configuration to a different location, you can do that. I am not doing that. Okay, hard disks. That's it. So what is it trying to tell? It is not possible to assign 8 processors. Okay. So for us, we need to create a 8 processor machine over here. Okay. So this is a point where the cost of this machine becomes extremely heavy. Okay. So till this moment, I have been using a machine which is, I think you have been using a machine which is 2 core. Okay. Right. From this moment in our classroom. Okay. So that is something which will start from tomorrow onwards. My machine's size where I'm running my Hyper-V will have 8 processors, right? So that is the reality, because generally you'll have 8 core kind of machines. The other thing which you can possibly think of is whenever you are importing your virtual machines, right? So there are other ways of assigning this 8 processors, but those are all hacks. I'll not do hack. So in the classroom, I don't want to get away with the hack kind of a model. What I'll try to do is I'll try to create a 8 core processor for this virtual machine. Okay, before we start our next class, and then we will be basically continuing this migration. And don't forget, once you whenever you are trying to shut down your machine, please click on shutdown. Okay, if you don't shut down, sometimes what happens is, right, when especially when you are doing this migration, some of these machines move to corrupted state, and once they move to the corrupted state, it will be very difficult for you and me to basically do the migration, right? So if you see now, they are all shut down. Now it is safe to stop this machine. Stop this machine. Yes. Yeah. 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 Right. So I have finished my today's work. So what I'll do is I'll go into virtual machines and then I'll stop the virtual machine. Okay. So for this 8 virtual machines, if there is any other options, I'll try to share it with you tomorrow. So today I want you to have your virtual machine with this appliance downloaded and extracted. Appliance downloaded and extracted. So we'll be doing discovery. We'll be starting the assessment, and then basically we'll be continuing with our next activities in the same way. Okay. Now, if you basically look into the Hyper-V steps and virtual machine steps, the only thing that changes is here we are speaking about Hyper-V host. Here we are speaking about running the script on the Hyper-V. Tomorrow, when you are doing on the VMware, the story is same. You have to run the stuff, some stuff on VMware. Okay. So what are the different things which you need to perform and all that stuff that comes into play. Okay. Right, sir. So this is what I want you to have now. I want you to have your Hyper-V with an appliance downloaded. Right. Don't try to create a 8-core machine before the class tomorrow, because you might end up spend what you call, it might end up costing a lot for you. So we'll do only when the times when they are needed. Okay. Right. So do you all have the virtual machine now, and do we understand what has to be done for today? Yes. So I've seen the answer as yes. Good. So we will continue with this activity from tomorrow onwards to understand what has to be basically done. Okay. Right, sir. Thanks. Thanks for your time.